Coming up next.
What's the best advice that you could give to somebody that's considering making a change?
That's a harder question. I knew you were going to ask something like that. So if someone is not proud of what they do and they start wanting to look elsewhere, I think it's important to sort of like, what are those transferable skills? Where can I apply to somewhere where I will be more passionate and more excited? And ultimately, do I feel like I can bring value to that new business or that other venture? I think it's important to feel like, you're bringing something to the table.
Welcome to the Job Talk podcast, where we talk with people who love their jobs. Our guests open up about their challenges, surprises, and secrets to success in their industries. Through conversation, we explore their careers, past work experiences, and the education that got them to where they are now. This is the shortened version from our in-depth conversation. Please visit thejobtalk.com to find the full episode.
Today's guest is Corwin Hiebert. Here's our job talk with the CX and business development strategist. You've made career changes and pivots. What's the best advice that you could give to somebody that's considering making a change? Because you can get really comfortable into a career and you could start to look at the years and say, okay, I can stay in this position for 15 more years and then I'm out. What kind of advice could you give somebody that's thinking about making a move?
Yeah. That's a harder question. I knew you were going to ask something like that. And I think I probably had an answer in my head, but now when you say it again, I'm like, oh man, and the reason why that's a hard question to answer is that I think it's different for everyone. So in my case, I have to be extremely passionate about what I do. Otherwise I just tap out. Like I don't have a longevity vein in my body. Like I will not hold on to a job because I get a paycheck. Like if I'm not jumping out of bed every day, then I'll just do something different. I'll change. I'll go find something else. And so when I was a business owner exclusively, it was easy in that I made all of the decisions. So if I had problems, well, it was my fault. Now I don't have that same, environment, but I care deeply about the environment and about healthy food. And so I can navigate sort of the ins and outs of my work with this baseline of I'm really passionate about solving these problems and I'll get through whatever issues are coming down the way. So for someone that wants to change a job, if they feel like they really dislike either what they're doing or the people that they're doing with or the results or impact of their labor. So if their business is doing things that they don't agree with or don't like, if there's some piece of that three-legged stool that is broken, yeah, then you have to pursue a change. You have to, because I don't want to be, not every job that we have is amazing. Not everything that I do, I love. Like there's plenty of things with spreadsheets and math that I do because I must do it. And I don't love it. There's plenty of PowerPoint presentations that I have to write that I don't want to write. I want to present them, but I don't want to write them. And so there are hard parts of our work. But at the end of the day, it has to serve an end goal of, yeah, I'm really proud of what I do. So if someone is not proud of what they do and they start wanting to look elsewhere, I think it's important to sort of like, what are those transferable skills? Where can I apply to somewhere where I will be more passionate and more excited? And ultimately, do I feel like I can bring value to that new business or that other venture? I think it's important to feel like, you're bringing something to the table.
What a great answer. See, that's exactly why I can't be a guest, because I would never come up with something like that. But I like putting you on the hot seat. Anyways,
oh my gosh.
Corwin, your passion for what you do is undeniable. I can hear it as you speak. I wish you nothing but the best with your podcast. I will subscribe and will be listening. And I just want to thank you for coming on my podcast today to share some of your stories. Thanks a lot.
Awesome. Kim, thanks for having me. And actually, I have a book plug, and It's not a book that I wrote, but it's called Never Lose a Customer Again.
Okay.
And if there's anyone that's getting into sales or business development or strategic partnerships or whatever iteration of that role that they find themselves in, Never Lose a Customer Again by Joey Coleman is a very good book. I would say it's one of those books where I'm not sure it's a really well-written book, but it's a very important book. And it's because it really talks about how the client is feeling at different points of the sales and fulfillment journey. And business people need to have a better sense of the emotional connection that clients have with their vendors. And this book, I think, just beats the reader over the head about and the tagline is turn any sale into lifelong loyalty in 100 days. And I think it's a very poignant thing for people in my role to learn. It's just like how to cultivate great relationships up to a sale and well beyond the sale so that there's loyalty, that there's a better relationship, that person can maybe become an ambassador or a champion of your business and your services and your reputation. It's a book that I highly recommend. I don't think I would ever, if one day when I get to hire my team, this will be book number one that I make them read.
And you shared it on this podcast, and that's exactly what I wanted to do when I started it. Corwin, thanks a lot. It was great meeting you. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Kim. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in to the Job Talk podcast. For more information, please visit us at thejobtalk.com. Our podcast music was created by our friend Mike Malone in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.